All right, we are back. Personal Healthcare Reform Talk Show on Pegasus Netwaves, taking your health to a higher level. And today, we're going to be talking about Don't Get Sad, Be Happy. Bobby McFerrin, that one's for you. If you haven't heard the song, seriously, just Google Bobby McFerrin, okay? You'll hear one of the best happy fun time songs you've ever heard in your life. But special show today. I've got one of our show hosts on today with me, Dr. Paul Chafetz, and we're going to be talking about seasonal effectiveness disorder, which is a big thing this time of year. So I want to address it because this is a show about health and wellness. So before we get into that, we got a little health and news, and of course I've got to thank all my health partners, all my sponsors. So let's start off with Ulta Health Labs. So if you need any type of blood work done, blood draw, swab test, whatever, go see them. 20 to 80% off on my website for any and every blood test. They'll take insurance, or if you don't have insurance, they'll take you without insurance, cash option, 2,500 places around the U.S., any and all tests. It's phenomenal, excellent service. And after you take the test, they would call you, go over all the results. They'll send the results to your doctor. This way you don't have to wait on the doctor's office for everything. You can be proactive about your health. How about that? But amazing stuff. One thing to check on this season, speaking of S.A.D, is adrenal health, because adrenal health gets hit badly. So if you can, go do one of the adrenal function tests from them. It'll be a lifesaver. So I've got that. Also Kinesi, because you need to be moving, and since the weather's changing, Kinesi, it's got active cotton. It's fantastic stuff. I'm decked out in it right now, but it keeps you cool in the summertime, keeps you warm in the wintertime. Phenomenal stuff, and they got brand new styles coming out. So if you're a fitness person and you want to get them some really awesome fitness wear that's not going to wear out and they're going to love every time they put it on, get some Kinesi. Go on clinicfuqua.com and get 20% off through me. Also, of course, meals. We got all the big feasts coming up. So between the big feasts, which I recommend, go out and feast and have fun during the feast, but between those, which is like the 30 days in between that one day, Icon meals, awesome stuff. Custom prepped just for you. So if you've got diabetes, or if you want to do a blood type diet, or you got any kind of restrictions, gluten-free needs, or if you're celiac or whatever, they can make anything and everything for you. Great, amazing pricing. Pricing is $5, $7, $9 per meal. Okay, so it's less than going out to eat. Much better food too. The head chef is from the Omni. If you haven't ever eaten at the Omni in Dallas, do yourself a favor at least once and go eat at the Omni in Dallas. It's incredible. But that's what you're getting from these guys. Okay, but incredibly healthy. Also, Human, helping unite mankind in nutrition. So for anybody out there that's got a business, you want to get your employees healthier, have some healthier options for them that they're still going to want to eat, that are tasty. They've got awesome vending service. This way you can have your goldfish and eat them too, because they've got organic goldfish. How about that? And everything else. It's awesome company. MedCall Pro. I'm going to have MedCall Pro on here in the house on the show coming up in about 2-3 weeks. We're going to talk about their brand new system for everybody out there. So if you decide not to have health insurance, you need a hedge for that. This is your hedge for that. This way you've got ER service year-round, anywhere, everywhere. Get your own medical kit. Everything's in there. It's awesome service. Definitely listen to that show. It's going to be for a family of 8 now. They'll cover up to a family of 8. Find Fitness Pros, because you're going to want to work off those excess holiday pounds if you are, in fact, having feasts every day, including the day you're supposed to have a feast. So no matter where you're at in the U.S., log on to Find Fitness Pros, put in what you're looking for. They'll find the person for you. They do a fantastic job. the entry on that, I actually am one of the people on there. They take you through a full entry exam as a trainer. It's awesome. So it's very high quality for what you're getting there. And last but definitely not least, ID Life. Follow us here. So anybody that has gone on there, you've done the assessment, you're having the ID nutrition, you're feeling fantastic, and you're not going to be affected by SAD disorder because, well, if you're taking the right stuff, you won't be. go on there, log on, update your blend to fall. Okay, that way your own custom blend gets changed up just a little bit. Essentially, you'll probably get some vitamin D and some other stuff in there. Plus, there's all kinds of allergy stuff out there right now. So, if you're dealing with allergies, you really shouldn't be. I'm not dealing with allergies. It's kind of nice. I used to deal with them all the time. Anyway, so log on, go to clintfuqua.com, take the free health assessment, print out the report. Tell you what, I offer this challenge. Print the report, take it to your doctor, see what your doctor says. Your doctor will be amazed. They're going to wonder where you got that 18-page report about everything about you and how to improve it, along with all the nutrients that you need specifically. By the way, we're the only company out there that you can actually submit that and have it covered by insurance. Try that with any other vitamin supplement company on the market. You can't do it because they don't have the evidence. We do. It's awesome. I'm bragging right now. And we got some cool skincare line. We got stuff for the kids now as well. And one more thing. We're doing the whole Ideal Life Challenge thing right now. We've got 28-day challenges. We have one of the premier trainers from The Biggest Loser. I'm just going to say Jen, okay? Because you're going to know who she is, because The Biggest Loser is coming back on very, very soon. You're going to see her, and you're going to realize that she is with us. She's actually an investor. She put together the 28-day challenges that we have. You are 3 challenges away from a very, very, very healthy new year, okay? So go in there, hop on board, take some 28-day challenges for yourself and your loved ones. If you need any help, just give me a contact. And of course, all this is on clintfuqua.com, and you can check everything out through Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest. If it's social media, I'm on there someplace. Okay, even YouTube. I'm going to start doing some more stuff on YouTube, so get ready for that. And of course, one more thing. On November 7th, Step Out Walk, Quick Trip Park. This is with American Diabetes Association. I'm going to have them back on here after we do the walk to do a follow-up on that and talk about some of the stuff they're doing in November for Diabetes Awareness Month, because it is a major thing. So we'll have them back on there, but definitely sign up, become a part of my team, or become a part of the Pegasus NetWaves team, because the entire station is involved in this thing. So come out, walk with us. They've got a 5K, and they walk and run. And also, I've got PhysioFit's going to be out there. We're going to be doing the warm-up and the cool-down. So this way you don't limp away from this thing. We want you to be healthy while you're doing it. And we'll be doing some other educational stuff out there as well. But that's the main thing there. And it's also, right now we're in October, so Cancer Awareness Month. So if you remember, 6 months ago, I was bald. I shaved my head. Okay, I do it every year. All these lovely locks go away for a couple months, and they're back now. They're wild. I'm growing them out for 2 years this time to save them off. But St. Baldrick's, I still have the link up on my website. If you want to donate there to help out in children's cancer, which is a very, very worthy cause, seeing as how the U.S. government is not doing anything with that, which is a travesty. In fact, they were kicking kids off the front lawn of the White House not too long ago. They were talking about that. Yeah, great job. Anyway, St. Baldrick's, awesome organization. Either donate to them or come out and do this Step Out Walk with me and everybody else here. Or, better yet, do both. As you'll hear coming up, doing things for others really helps out with that whole seasonal effectiveness disorder. Plus, you'll be exercising and everything else. So let's do a little health in the news right quick. We're going to run through these very, 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 very quickly because the show today is phenomenal. It is not to be missed. So first off, sleep. Your brain is 2% of your body mass, takes 25% of your energy, and runs 100% of you. So if you miss out on sleep, guess what? That whole running 100% of you doesn't work so well, and everything's so haywire. You do have some of the SAD disorder that happens. So get a good night's sleep every night. It will help you out tremendously in every respect. It will get you lean, help you think better, keep you happier. Sleep is a good thing whenever you get what you need. Eating and training is better than starving and running. Okay, so if you want to lose the pounds and lose it effectively, eat what you need to eat, go work out some weights. Doing the whole starving yourself and running yourself to death is, well, basically it's going to kill you. You'll be the best looking set of bones at the cemetery, which is not where you want to be. You want to be up and around and full of life. So a few other things. MTHFR, I had a big show about this back in April. Okay, this is a whole thing with folate and your body not being able to use folic acid, which affects 40% of the people out there. Well, folate helps out with reducing spinal bifida in children. That's why most women get put on a multivitamin with 400 micrograms a day of folic acid. Folic acid doesn't work so well. You need some methylfolate for that. It reduces incidence of spinal bifida by 31% alone. Okay, and all kinds of other genetic stuff. There's that. 17 different spices for diabetes. Top 2 are cinnamon and turmeric. Check that on the Facebook page. Gold for allergy relief. This is an awesome one. There's a high school girl that is coming up with a way to use gold particles to reduce allergies. It's amazing. I read up on the research on this. It's incredible how well this works. So basically, blue golden particles fill up the spaces where the allergens would go, blocks them out. It's incredible. It's neat stuff, and it's incredibly cheap, incredibly inexpensive. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. Hopefully it does, because that will set a new gold standard for allergy care. Let's see here. Deadly medical mixes. If you're taking anti-anxiety medicines, if you're taking antidepressants, actually, if you're taking anything, don't mix them with painkillers, because that will lead to some very, very bad stuff going on in your body that you don't want to have happen. Especially blood thinners. If you're taking blood thinners and take aspirin, guess what? For the thing in the blood, not a good thing. Opiates and Tylenol, even worse thing. And since it's allergy season, antihistamines and cough medicine. Unless you want to kill off some brain cells, which nobody really wants to kill off brain cells, that's the best way to do it. Take antihistamines and cough medicines. They will kill off brain cells very readily. And they actually compound effects of what you're already going through, which means they will make them worse if you have both those together. All right, so just some things to be aware of. If you haven't tried it, you might try munching on some gold. I don't know. Just kidding. And also, actually, I tell everybody that they need to be on a very good probiotic. Okay, specifically for allergy issues. There's one called Lactose Sakai. You get it in kimchi. So if you haven't ever had kimchi, go get some kimchi. Especially if you're having seasonal allergy issues, it will help out tremendously because it gives you exactly the probiotic you need to fight that junk off in your sinuses. Plus, if you haven't had kimchi, it's very, very spicy. It'll clear your sinuses out anyway. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Be careful. Take a small bite. Okay. And ACA news. You're going to hear tons about this coming up on a later show. Basically, everything's going up in price. Drugs are going up in price. Insurance is going up by 12-20%. Doctor pay is going down by 20 to 50%. Yay. All that great stuff that was supposed to not happen is supposed to be the opposite. It didn't. Guess what? You got conned. So we're going to talk about that coming up on a later show. Otherwise, come back, listener, talk Dr. Paul Chafetz on here so we can get you happy and healthy for the rest of the holiday season. And that is it for right now. Come back, listen in. Awesome show coming up.
This is Jeff Lazarus, author of Dogtology, Live, Bark, Believe. Dogtology is about man's fanatical devotion to dog, about the belief in dog, arguably one of the most popular beliefs on earth. Dogtology is available right now on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble Select Stores, and BarnesandNoble.com, Books A Million, independent bookstores, and several airports around the country.
The American Diabetes Association Step Out Walk to Stop Diabetes is scheduled for November the 7th at Quick Trip Park in Grand Prairie. I'm Quinn Neal. I'm the Executive Director with the American Diabetes Association, and I invite you to be part of this event that will help the organization continue to fund its outreach and research to battle diabetes. Again, that's November the 7th at Quick Trip Park in Grand Prairie. Please call our office number at 972-392-1181 for more information. We'd love to see you there.
All right, we're back. Personal Healthcare Reform Talk Show on Pegasus NetWaves, taking your health to a higher level. And I have a fellow show host on the show with me today. So this is the Testosterone Power Hour here, apparently. So because I'm actually on his show with my girlfriend. If you want to hear some inside baseball there.
Right.
Tune in to this guy here coming up as well. But I've got Dr. Paul Chafetz on with me today, and we're going to be talking about something that, it happens this time of year every year. I'm not talking about Halloween. I'm talking about what happens after Halloween. You get that big sugar rush. There is some sadness that happens, specifically S.A.D, seasonal affective disorder, and so he's the man to talk about this. And just to give everybody some background, Dr. Paul, if you would, give everybody some background about you and your time in the industry.
Sure. Clint, it's a pleasure to be here on your show. I'm a psychologist, as many of our listeners know. I've been in Dallas since about 1982. I have a full-time private practice over near Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas. I taught at UT Southwestern Medical Center for 20 years and made my practice full-time in about 2004. And I really love working with adults to help them turn their challenges and dilemmas in living into building blocks of a better you. So I really enjoy working with adults, help them figure out how to move into their future and grow into their best self.
Yeah, speaking of grow into, your show is called Grow Into It.
As a matter of fact.
So, once again, listen to that show. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I've got you on today specifically about talking about seasonal
Seasonal affective disorder is a really, really interesting phenomenon. It was first identified by Dr. Rosenthal, who worked at the National Institute of Mental Health back in 1984. And since then, it was initially met with some skepticism, but now it's well recognized that there are seasonal variations in mood for a certain percentage of adults, and it's very much linked to light, to sunlight. So as you might imagine, it's much more common in the far north and the far south near the poles of the Earth than it is in the more temperate zones. That's right. Seattle's pretty far north. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Seattle, for the grunge music.
That's
I know
right.
why you got it.
Yeah, so it's relatively rare in Florida, but in Alaska, it's very common.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So let's start off with some background about S.A.D for a little bit, and because of course, it's Dallas. It's nice and sunny. We're going to be in the 90s until middle of November. So we don't have a whole lot of that here, except for maybe just the other side of this, which is the holidays are here, and everybody gets stressed out about that.
True.
But let's start off with some of the background and some signs of for people to look for in themselves, and more importantly, for people around them to look for. Because, it's that second set of eyes that usually tells you what's going on as opposed to your own, because you don't always see stuff that's going on with yourself.
Correct.
So what are some things people need to look for?
Really, the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, are the same as for what we call major depressive disorder. Just for everyone out there, there's a big difference between having a bad day when we're a little blue versus a true syndrome of symptoms that add up to more of a disease state. So in SAD, or major depressive disorder, we have changes in lots of areas of functioning. There are changes in sleep. So in SAD, typically people want to sleep more. It's kind of a mini hibernation, if you will. There are changes in appetite where they crave carbohydrates, and that generally winds up putting weight on them.
That's a big downward spiral right there.
Yeah. So they have less energy, probably as a result of all that white flour and so forth. And they enjoy their normal enjoyable activities less. So they'll have less libido, less interest in sex, less enjoyment of being with friends and family, less enjoyment of food, more anxiety, irritability, just a general syndrome of a bad day for a month.
Yeah, and so it like I said, it is kind of a downward spiral, because you start craving all the stuff that you shouldn't be having in the first place.
Correct.
And of course, we both know that carbohydrates, especially sugars, are highly addictive. They work on the body just like heroin, essentially, for addictive properties. And multiplies that over and over and over again. And what do we have during this time of year? Tons of sweets.
Right. And it's not just sugar, is it? It's all sorts of
all the breads and everything else.
Correct. Anything white.
They all work within the same spectrum.
And alcoholic beverages have a ton of sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Natural sugars as part of the alcoholic beverage, and this is the drinking season.
Yes, it is. Plus, it's natural depressant too, so you've got a compound effect on those.
That's right.
So
that's an irony that I think a lot of people do not recognize. That alcohol initially sedates the inhibitory parts of our brain, so we have this initial kind of excitatory burst of energy, but it's short-lived, and most fundamentally, it absolutely depresses us in the brain through our brain chemistry.
Yes, it does majorly, and then you want more and more of it.
Right. Alcohol is not our friend if we're already a little bit blue.
No, it is not.
Correct.
So, with that, if you are, say, you're around a coworker or a family member, what are some things that they need to look for? I mean, I know it's going to be less enjoyment in what they're doing, but anything else? Maybe speech patterns or
yes, I think they might be voicing a less optimistic mood about themselves, about life, about the world. So they'll be perhaps hopeless, helpless, express feelings of worthlessness. In SAD specifically, suicidal thoughts are not a huge part, but in major depressive disorder, suicidal thoughts or even actions can indeed be part of it.
Yeah, and this can't be based on the fact that they just watched election coverage.
That's right.
That's
a rule out.
I had to throw that out there because of course they had the DNC had their big thing last night with the candidates up there. So which there will be many drinking games associated with those. So watch out with the drinking games.
Yes.
So and of course we also talked about the effects of that with reduced sunlight and everything else.
Right.
We've got daylight savings time is coming up in 3 weeks. So everybody gets an extra hour to party for Halloween, which is nice this year.
Right. With daylight savings going away, it'll get dark sooner, and we're doubling down on this risk.
Yeah. Yes, we are, and which I know there's been some interesting studies with people actually using. Sun lamps, stuff like that, or instead of going in and getting a tan, you're basically going in, basically getting some natural vitamin D from being in tan boost for like a max of 2 or 3 minutes. It's not a tanning thing; it's just getting some of the UV rays into your system to produce some vitamin D.
You're absolutely right that light therapy is indicated for seasonal affective disorder. I'm not at all sure, though, that a tanning booth uses the same light as the type of light for this.
There are actually 2 different tanning booths on the market now that are manufactured for this specifically.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. My understanding about the light therapy is that it's supposed to be about 10,000 lux, L-U-X, full spectrum light. And there's some science. You can Google it. Specific wavelengths that are the most helpful for mood.
Yeah, and then of course they've got the brand new all natural light bulbs that do full spectrum.
Correct.
I know those are supposed to help out a little bit. So if you have those around the house, that gives you a little more,
correct,
a little more quote unquote natural sunlight, as opposed to the other things we have up overhead right now.
Let's pose a quiz to our listeners. Which part of the body receives the light and makes the best use of it?
Anybody? Bueller?
I don't hear anybody
Bueller?
out there. I don't hear anybody out there. Actually, I think the answer is we don't know. It's definitely not necessarily the eyes.
It's skin.
Probably skin. And they can. I think there's been an experiment where they shine the light at the back of subjects' knees and cover their eyes altogether, and there was benefit.
Yeah, with skin, especially you're taking in the UV rays, your body's taking that in and actually producing vitamin D from that, and from the vitamin D production, you get happier. So that's the piece of it, which if you're in Seattle, you wouldn't know about that because y'all never see the sun up there.
Right.
Right.
Both because of the angle and the cloud cover.
Yeah.
The cloud cover's terrible.
Sorry, Seattle. I don't mean to beat up on you, but it's
right.
there. Have some fish and some vitamin D, please. Which I hear they have great fish in Seattle, by the way. Great fish markets. But so anything else on that? Because I know somebody's going through that. Of course, seeing you would be very helpful to help people address and realize what's going on.
There is room generally to learn new skills. I think that mood disorders, just like normal mood, comes from a combination of several factors. One, of course, is our brain chemistry. Another is everything that's happening to us. But a third is what we choose to do, our choices, and how we choose to think about ourselves, our situation, our relationships. So there is room to gain more skill in terms of living, of having more sophisticated concepts for understanding life and more skills for managing ourselves. And that's what psychotherapy would be all about.
Yeah. And I had a very interesting show with Amber Rogers, so I need to get you in touch with.
Yeah.
She runs Divas. And we were talking about that with people that go through divorce and stuff like that, because there's a lot of family stuff that happens this time of year. And if you have been through some bad family stuff, and now you're alone, the kids are off with somebody else, that leads into S.A.D specifically, for many other reasons. And we talked about that, and one of the things that she's done in the past, and we've actually recommended through Divas, is people going out and participating in charity events. So, helping out in soup kitchens, feeding the homeless, whatever thing you want to get into. If you want to work with SPCA and work with animals, because if you're around animals, you're going to be happy anyway. Let's face it, if you're around puppies, happiness right there.
Unconditional.
Yeah. So, but doing that, getting out of yourself for a little bit, and doing something for somebody else, usually almost always makes you feel better, because now you've given back to the community and done something good, which ultimately you're going to feel good about.
Clint, that's a great idea. I think the holidays are especially hard for anyone who's been through a major loss or life change. It's generally the first time that they've gone through this part of the year since their loss, be it the death of a loved one or the death of a relationship. So it highlights their new status and their need for new skills for surviving.
Yep. Yeah, and it also gets you out into society and off of Facebook and off all the social media stuff, which social media has been shown to usually increase depression if you're already there.
Right.
Because you see all the people out happy doing stuff, and you're like, I'm just sitting here watching everything.
Yeah.
So it gets you out into public.
For virtually everybody, human interaction is therapeutic. Right.
Yeah, and hugs.
Hugs are
good. Hugs are great.
Oh, yeah. Hugs, smiles, the smells, the touch, the moving around in a crowd. Go dancing. Yeah. Who can be sad while they're dancing?
Yeah. Pumpkin flavored everything. Any closing comments from you, right quick, on anybody that may be experiencing some S.A.D, or they know somebody that is, or any other little bits of wisdom?
So in summary, seasonal affective disorder is a true disorder. I think if an individual is concerned that they actually have this disorder, they should check with their physician. There are medications, just like for major depressive disorder, so antidepressants can be useful. Psychotherapy can be useful. Seeking out more exposure to light can be useful. Social interaction. And I cannot emphasize enough, exercise. Exercise is like the universal antidepressant. It improves mood, it improves sleep, it improves appetite and weight. We get more muscle tone. We love our body more. I'm a big fan of exercise for unpleasant mood, and that's where I would leave it.
All right, perfect. And because that way you can walk it off, quite literally.
That's right.
Quite literally. So for everybody out there, definitely, if you need to get in touch with this man over here, he's phenomenal. Listen to his show every week on here as well. What date and time is your show?
Grow Into It with Dr. Paul is on Thursdays at 3:30 on PegasusNetWaves.com.
Perfect. So just a couple hours after this one.
And I will mention that all of my past shows are available as podcasts on my website, paulkchafetz.com. And I am available both through the website, paulkchafetz.com, and by phone at 469-233-5566.
All right, perfect. Thanks for coming on. And for everybody out there,
pleasure.
Don't be sad. Get happy. Get some sunlight. Get some artificial sunlight. Go walk it off. Get some exercise. Have your fish oil. Have your vitamin D, and have some magnesium. That's for me on those things. So come back next time, and we're gonna be talking insurance. So you may have some S.A.D disorder after that one. I'm sorry. Thanks for being with us on the show. See you later.